So based on the order that you prefer, we can use this. For example, in order to use it here, I'll go over here and click here. And for the information itself, I'll put in rf.09 here. All right, there we go. Then let's move it over here on the right so we can get it inserted inside. And for the left and right settings on which side it's going to be, we can adjust that in the edit type by separating them and then controlling them. Now what we've created here will only be used for the ones on the right. All right, so now I'll go even lower. To place an example here, let's say in the middle of the plan. For example, down here. All right, let's go higher and then zoom in to see what we have here. And we can use the tag for this bit. So we can enter rl.01 for the text as well. And now if I want to select the pipe itself, I can see the riser number which says rl.01 here. So basically that's how we can go about for the tags and the parameters. And then for the water sections, I can go over here and let's see, open up the domestic water. Let's say, for example, the first floor, it's actually the underground. All right, so we'll open it up. So once again, we're going to use filters here. So we filter anything that's not necessary and just keep the stuff that we're working with. For example, I hit VJ to open up the filter menu and check the domestic visibility box. Okay, and now the ducts and the fires and the view offset, we can control them based on the explanations I've already given you. And the pipes here that go to the water tanks, which as you can see go through this pathway and up here. For this stage, they usually show up to some point that doesn't include the pump house itself. For example, here in the AutoCAD file, it goes up to here where we get an arrow that indicates the end. Now we can go about this a bit more advanced and follow it up into the pump house itself. When they cut it in the AutoCAD file, it's because it's not determined which pathway will be used. But it's a different case for us who've modeled the pump house itself. All right, so this is basically all of the explanations for the modeling sections. Cancel this. In the MEP and the shop works will be done using the same way. And as you may have noticed, it needs a higher level of attention to the details. And it's necessary for you to be familiar with these topics in the Revit and the shop itself and such and such. So for now, I'll put the scale on 100th, and the schedule discussion has its own sensibilities here as well. As we've already stated, for the schedule stage, you can use the, let's go to the View tab, the schedule tool that we've shown you already, and you can use whatever category that you prefer. For example, I have a topic about pipe fittings. I'll select the category and hit OK. Now, which of the parameters for pipe fittings do you like? You can select them through here. For example, I'll select the family and type, and I'll also add the count and the angle as well. For example, you can put in size as well. All right. You can enter the system type as well, and system abbreviation too. This is only based on your thoughts and if you'll be needing this. I'll put in the system classification as well, and it's fine for now, so I'll hit OK, and we'll see what we can look and assess over here. So the schedule is curated as you can see. Let's browse through it. So now you can see in the columns we have drain, we have sanitary, and what's important to us right now is the system name that you can see in this column. All right, so for now I'll go over to the system name. Let's go with this drain. For some of them it's entered drain here but vent on this side. So basically when we're producing a schedule based on the system classification and types, and then we have a part where two systems go through another and then they get separated. For example, the sewage that we've touched on, this does cause an issue such as this on the usual. And each system on its own has its own naming that's separate, as you can see. So now there's something we can do using the Dynamo tool. First, I'll have to go over to the Manage tab here and open up the Dynamo tool itself. And up here, I'll search for category as an example. Now, what are we aiming for here? The ones that, for example, say drain here under the system name, we want to save all of these drain 1, 2, and 3s as simply drain. Or down here where we have the sanitaries 4 and 5, they'll all be named sanitary, so that it's just a bit more organized. So open up the category app and look for pipe fittings here. Let's see pipe fittings here. And in the main search bar itself, I'll look for all elements of category. All right, now let's open up this app and connect it to the categories to make the thread. Now it's identified all of the fitting categories. So now I'll look for element.parameter, open it up and connect it to the elements from the thread. Then we can get the parameters and hit run. Although because we knew what we wanted, we didn't even need to do this. We can just connect the get parameter and say we want the system name. So now these are the parameters that we want to find. But instead of doing that, I'll delete this app and look for get parameter and then open up this. All right, connect it to the thread, and then I'll add a string over here, which I'll name system name, which is the same as the ones that we have in the files. All right, so then I'll hit run. Now it has to list the system name of all of the amounts and numbers over here. I'll open this up and we can see the drain. And now we want to separate the drains. In the Dynamo, I'll look for search and let's see. I'll open this up that says string.count occurrences, then connect it to the thread from the string side, and then I can create a code block and put an a bracket 0, or I can also add a string here and name it drain. There we go, and then connect it to the system, and the search for is where it goes, and then we'll hit run. All right, so I'll delete the code block, and if we open up the list, the ones are fine, the zeros are not. It identified all of the drains. And now using the mask bool by filter app, I'll connect the mask side to the counts of the thread, and then from the list to over here. All right, now search for watch and connect it to the bool mask and hit run. All right, so right now it's actually counting the numbers. So let me look up search. You know what, instead of that, let's just go up here in the main search bar instead and look for search. Let's type it in and let's see what we can get. Alright, so now I'll look for contain instead in the search bar. The contain string app, I'll open it up Then I'll remove this app and connect this one instead to the thread from the string side, then the string itself, and then run. Alright, so I'll connect the bool to the mask and hit run. So now it's determined the items. So we have about 74 of these system names. Now this time using the set parameter tool, which I'll be connecting to the thread from here. Excuse me, disconnect that and connect the watch to it instead. And then we have the parameter names and the amount itself. For the parameter name, I'll create a parameter in the Revit file. So open up the parameter properties and I'll name this one system name. Let's go with that. Let's put it on IR-system name, that's better. From the type of text, then over here we'll check the pipe accessories and the pipe categories, the pipe fittings and the insulators and the placeholders as well. Alright, and then over here we'll make sure what this is under. Let's put it under the mechanical group parameter. Alright, then I'll go up here and copy the name and OK to close this, and then OK once again. Alright, and then for the parameter name, we can open up a string over here in the Dynamo. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to turn all of these into drains. So now we don't have drain 1, 2, or whatever. So now we can just connect the string that we had already that says drain and delete a new one and connect that one instead. Run. We just have to wait for the process to be finalized. So now after that, in order to check this, we can go over to the schedule section. First, we'll have to open up the Revit file, and then we can open up the schedule properties. And here we can add the IR field that we've created ourselves. Then I'll remove the system classification and name and hit OK. Alright, and now they've been added. So now for the filter section, we can open this up and filter by our system name equals drain. The rest is the same. I'll hit OK, and I'll only keep the drain over in the chart. And as you can see, for some of the angles it says 44 and 43. We didn't actually use these angles. We have 45s, and we can use the Dynamo once again to attain these and then change them and round them up to 45 and create a parameter called angle, which takes only 45-degree angles so that the numbers will be round. So basically the schedule in the MEP is the same as the architecture and structure, and the difference is the specifications are under MEP. So now later on, when we discuss the Navisworks, we'll talk about MSP as well, and we'll have a part of the project which says the application of Dynamo. So in the next part, we'll go over to the Navisworks and discuss what you can do there, because some of the listeners may do management works. So we'll talk about the schedules in Navis and the clashes and the time manage them that we'll discuss in Navisworks.